Revenge is a story we tell ourselves when we are in deep pain. It whispers a seductive promise in the dark closure, righteous satisfaction. You imagine that moment of payback, the scales finally balance, the other person feeling a fraction of the hurt they inflicted upon you. For a fleeting instant, the fantasy feels like power. You believe it will fix what is broken inside, mend the tear in your soul, and make you feel whole again. It feels like a quick, decisive action that will put an end to the suffering. But this is the great, seductive lie of revenge. The truth is that seeking revenge does the opposite. It weakens you, tethering you to the pain. The momentary rush of getting even is counterfeit currency. It buys you nothing of lasting value. It mortgages your future peace for a fleeting hit of self-righteous anger. True strength isn't found in the act of hurting back. It is found in the quiet, courageous decision to tend to your own wounds. It is the grit to sit with the discomfort of betrayal without letting it turn you into someone you don't recognize. Revenge keeps you locked in a dark room with the person who harmed you. Stare at them, study them, and plot your next move. It steals your focus, your energy, your capacity for joy and connection. It is a trap that masquerades as a throne. They hurt me, so I will hurt them. This formula feels fair. But our hearts are not spreadsheets, and emotional healing does not follow the rules of basic arithmetic. When we commit to this path, we are not just planning an action against another, we are shaping our own inner world. We are marinating our thoughts in bitterness. This process doesn't just harm the target of our anger, it corrodes our own spirit from the inside out, leaving us brittle and isolated. The quest for vengeance becomes a full-time job with no salary, no benefits, and a terrible, soul-crushing commute. Ultimately, the choice is not between action and inaction. It is between two very different kinds of action. One path leads you deeper into the tangled mess of hurt, anger, retaliation, a cycle that rarely ends where you think it will. The other path, though often harder and less glamorous, leads toward genuine healing and freedom. It is the path of reclaiming your story, not by adding a chapter of vengeance, but by starting an entirely new book. Turn your back on the illusion of revenge's power and instead embrace the messy, vulnerable, and profoundly brave work of building a life defined by your own values, not by the actions of those who have wronged you. Think back on your years of formal education, all the hours spent in classrooms learning algebra, history, and the periodic table. We were meticulously trained to be productive members of society. School taught us how to follow rules, how to meet deadlines, and how to strive for external validation, grades, and gold stars. We learned how to obey authority and navigate the clear-cut structures of academic achievement. Yet, in this vast curriculum of survival, there was a gaping hole. No one ever taught us the curriculum of the heart. There were no classes on how to handle the gut-wrenching pain of a broken heart, or how to stand back up after a profound betrayal shatters your trust. We learned to survive exams, but not the emotional ambushes that life inevitably throws our way. This educational gap leaves us emotionally ill-equipped. When someone we trust hurts us deeply, a friend who shares a secret, a partner who is unfaithful, a colleague who sabotages our work, our minds default to fight. The urge for justice, for making things even, surges through us. This reaction is not a sign of weakness. It is a deeply human protective instinct. The fantasy of revenge is built on the illusion of control, but the reality is that it makes you a prisoner. When you dedicate yourself to getting even, you are, by definition, chaining your emotional state to another person. Your happiness, your sense of justice, your next move. You are no longer the protagonist of your own life. You have demoted yourself to a reactive character in their story. Their actions dictate your thoughts. Their presence, or even the thought of their presence, pulls your energy away from your own goals, your own joy, your own growth. You wait for them to stumble. You watch for an opportunity to act, and in doing so, you surrender the steering wheel of your life to the very person you resent. This is not power. It is the most profound form of powerlessness. Furthermore, the pursuit of revenge often forces you to betray your own values, creating a deep and painful internal conflict. To hurt someone back, you may have to become deceitful, manipulative, cruel, qualities you would never admire in yourself or others. You might trade your integrity for a moment of bitter triumph. In the process of trying to make someone else feel small, you risk shrinking your own character. You become someone you don't like or respect, all in the name of a justice that will never truly satisfy. This self-betrayal is a heavy price to pay. The fleeting high of payback quickly fades, but the discomfort of knowing you compromised your core principles lingers long after, adding a layer of shame and regret on top of the original wound. Consider also the social fallout, the ripple effect that vengeance creates. Friends, family members, colleagues forced to choose sides or navigate the toxic fallout. A personal vendetta can poison a workplace fracture, a friend group, tear a family apart. The initial harm, once contained between two people, metastasizes into a larger conflict, breeding mistrust and breaking down the very fabric of community. The cost expands far beyond your personal pain, creating a legacy of division and animosity that can take years to repair, if it can be repaired at all. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, revenge fails because it is aimed at the wrong target. It focuses on punishing the other person instead of healing your own heart. Getting even might inflict pain, but it does nothing to address the wound inside you. It doesn't restore your trust. It doesn't erase the memory of the betrayal. It doesn't give you back what was lost. It is a distraction from the real work that needs to be done, the difficult internal work of processing your grief, anger, loss. True resolution doesn't come from an external act of retribution. It comes from the internal act of reclaiming your peace and deciding that your energy is too valuable to be spent on anything other than your own well-being. If you're ready to rise above revenge and level up your life, hit subscribe. Your power starts here. Section 4. A personal detour from vengeance to vulnerability. I remember a time, years ago, when I was betrayed by a very close friend and colleague. We had built something together, a project we had poured our hearts into, and I trusted her implicitly. Then, in a single devastating move, she used confidential information I had shared in a moment of vulnerability to undermine my position and advance her own career. The sting of the betrayal was sharp and deep, a physical ache in my chest. It wasn't just the professional setback. It was the shattering of a deep, personal trust that left me feeling exposed, foolish, and profoundly alone. My first, overwhelming instinct was a burning desire for revenge. I knew her secrets, her insecurities, her vulnerabilities. I could have easily used them to tear her down. For weeks, my mind became a war room. I spent countless hours replaying her betrayal, dissecting every word and action, meticulously crafting scenarios of retribution. I imagined exposing her duplicity to our shared network. I fantasized about a public confrontation where her actions would be laid bare for all to see. These thoughts gave me a temporary, albeit toxic, sense of power in a situation where I felt completely powerless. I was righteous in my anger, and the story of my justified revenge felt like the only possible ending. But all this plotting was exhausting. It consumed my thoughts when I was with my family. It kept me awake at night, and it filled my days with a low-grade, simmering bitterness that tainted everything. The turning point came not in a moment of dramatic insight, but in a quiet moment of utter exhaustion. I was sitting at my desk, trying to work, but my mind was once again lost in a revenge fantasy. I suddenly realized that even in my imagination, I was giving her all of my time and energy. She was still the center of my world, long after the initial harm was done. I was letting her live rent-free in my head, and the rent was my peace of mind. In that moment, I understood that the path of revenge was not a path to freedom. It was a cage I was building for myself. I didn't want to become a person who derived satisfaction from another's pain, even if I felt they deserved it. That wasn't who I wanted to be. So, I made a different choice. It wasn't forgiveness, not at first. It was a conscious, deliberate detouring of my energy. Instead of plotting, I started journaling, pouring all my anger and hurt onto the page. I chose to stop sharing any part of my personal life and my professional life with that friend. I told her calmly and directly that her actions had broken my trust and that our relationship, as I knew it, was over. Then, I turned my focus back to my work and found new collaborators, people who valued integrity. It wasn't a quick fix. There was no satisfying cinematic climax, but over time, she faded from my thoughts. I didn't get the satisfaction of revenge, but I got something far more valuable. I got my life back. I got stronger, wiser, and more discerning about who I trust. Section 5. The Armor of the Strong: 3 Tools for True Power. When you decide to walk away from the trap of revenge, you need practical, sturdy tools. This isn't about simply letting it go. It's about actively building a new kind of strength. The first and most essential tool is the practice of setting boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are clear lines you draw to protect your peace and self-respect. They are the courageous act of saying, "This is what I will and will not accept in my life." This might mean limiting contact with a person who is toxic, or ending contact with them. It could mean saying no to requests that drain your energy, refusing to engage in gossip about the situation. Boundaries are not punitive. They are a profound act of self-care. They are the tangible message: I value my well-being enough to protect it. The second tool is cultivating grounding emotional habits. When you're reeling from a hurt, your emotions can feel like a raging storm. Instead of being swept away, develop small daily practices as anchors. Practice deep, mindful breathing for 5 minutes when anger rises. Write in a journal. Give your chaotic feelings a place to land without judgment. Talk to a trusted friend or talk to a therapist who can hold space for your pain. These habits don't erase the pain, but they lower its intensity. They create the mental space to think clearly and choose your response. Over time, these small anchors become a powerful stabilizing force. The third tool is purposeful action. Revenge keeps your energy looking backward. Purposeful action redirects energy forward, toward growth and fulfillment. Learn a new skill you've always been curious about. Throw yourself into a meaningful project at work. Volunteer for a cause you believe in. Reconnect with a hobby that brings joy. Building a life that feels purposeful makes others' actions lose power over you. Your focus shifts from what was done to what you are creating, from victim to creator. These 3 tools are the building blocks of true resilience. They require practice, patience, and deep commitment to healing. Unlike revenge's fleeting power, these tools build real, lasting strength. The quiet, unshakable power that comes from within, the power of calm, the power of choice, the power to decide what you will carry forward and what you will bravely leave behind. This is the armor of the strong, forged not in anger, but in courage. Section 6. Redefining strength. The courage to choose. Growth. In our culture, strength is too often confused with aggression dominance, a refusal to show vulnerability. The strong one is the one who hits back harder, who never backs down, who ensures that justice is served, swift and cold. But this is a brittle and shallow definition of strength. True strength, the kind that endures and deepens over a lifetime, is not about what you are willing to inflict on others, but about what you are able to hold within yourself. The pain, the anger, the grief, and the courage to choose a constructive path forward anyway. It is the quiet resilience that allows you to feel the full force of a betrayal without letting it make you bitter or cruel. Strength is choosing growth over payback. Choosing growth is an active, conscious decision. It is the moment you stop asking, "How can I make them pay?" and start asking, "What does this experience have to teach me?" Perhaps the lesson is about setting better boundaries. Perhaps it is about being more discerning in your trust. Or perhaps it is a lesson in your own resilience. A discovery of a well of strength you never knew you possessed. When you frame the experience as a catalyst for growth, you fundamentally shift your relationship to it. It is no longer just a wound, it becomes a scar. Scars are evidence of healing. They are reminders that you were hurt, but you survived, and you are stronger in the broken places. This perspective doesn't excuse the harm done, but it reclaims the narrative for your own benefit. This redefinition of strength requires a radical form of self-compassion. When we are hurt, our inner critic often joins forces with our anger, telling us we were foolish, naive, weak. Choosing growth means silencing that voice and instead offering yourself the same kindness you would offer a dear friend. It means acknowledging the pain without judgment and giving yourself permission to be imperfect and to heal at your own pace. Forgiveness, in this context, is not primarily for the other person. It doesn't mean you condone what they did or that you have to let them back into your life. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, the gift of releasing the heavy burden of resentment so that you can use your hands to build something new. Ultimately, a life built on purpose will always outlast a moment of revenge. When your energy is directed toward your values, your passions, the people you love, you are building a foundation so solid that the actions of one person cannot shake it. Your sense of self-worth becomes internal, derived from your character and your contributions, rather than external, dependent on the approval or actions of others. This is the ultimate reclamation of power. You stop being a puppet, reacting to the strings pulled by someone else's bad behavior, and you become the author of your own story, choosing a plotline of courage, dignity, forward momentum. Section 7. Your first step forward. The practice of peaceful power. The journey away from revenge can feel overwhelming, like being asked to climb a mountain when you can barely stand. So don't focus on the summit. Focus on the very first step. The goal is not to instantly achieve perfect peace or forgiveness, but to begin choosing differently, one small moment at a time. The next time you feel that hot surge of anger or the obsessive loop of replaying the hurt, your practice begins. It's simple, but powerful. Pause. Before you react, before you text, before you post, before you spiral into a fantasy of retribution, just stop. Give yourself 10 minutes. In that pause, you create a space between the stimulus, the hurt, and your response. That space is where your power lies. During those 10 minutes, take a few slow, deep breaths. This physiological act calms your nervous system and pulls you out of fight or flight. Then, with a clearer mind, write one clear goal for how you want to feel. Not what you want to do to them, how you want to feel inside your skin. Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel proud of how you handled yourself? Do you want to feel free? Get specific about that emotional state. Shift focus from the external to your internal world, the only thing you truly control. Once you have your desired feeling, take one small, concrete action that moves you an inch closer. The action should align with your values and serve your well-being. If your goal is calm, put on soothing music or take a short walk outside. If your goal is pride, delete the angry email you drafted. If your goal is freedom, block their number or start a task for a personal project you care about. The action can be tiny. Its power is conscious choice in service of your peace. Lasting peace is stronger than fleeting payback. A steady heart is more powerful than a chaotic one. A life built on purpose and integrity outlasts a moment of anger. Choosing this longer, harder road takes immense courage. It's the only path to true, lasting strength. If you're ready to rise above the trap of revenge, don't wait for a grand gesture or perfect clarity. Start with one small habit. One 10-minute pause. Today. Protect your peace. Build your life. Your real power begins the moment you decide to stop giving it away to those who have hurt you. If you're ready to rise above revenge and level up your life, hit subscribe. Your power starts here.